Hello, everyone, esports gamers alike. Welcome to week one of NECC Overwatch collegiate matchups of the regular season. My name's Jaeger, and I'm joined by Star Clana in both color casting and production today, so working double duty. Today we have a wonderful matchup for you. UNI Purple versus Grandview Red, an in-state rivalry that has gone back since I was a part of the team, way back at the UNI Open. So thank you for joining us on today's match. Star, how are you doing today?
I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm hyped. I'm ready to see some Overwatch. Ready
I
to
know
play
I'm
some games.
I'm so excited too. I will admit I have not played Overwatch in nearly 6 months. Ever since the end, after winning GG leagues, the UNI purple team ended up winning GG leagues last year. So that was kind of enough for me to be like, okay, I'll be done. but yeah, so just sort of kind of talking about that. As you guys can kind of notice, we're not a part of GG Leagues anymore. We're part of the NECC, which I believe. So, Star, you are the president of UNI Esports and the head coach for the Overwatch team. So, you're playing a key role that's very pivotal for a lot of the inner workings. So, can you maybe chit chat first quickly about why you decided to go with the NECC versus the GG League?
Yeah. So in the past, with the teams, it was very okay. Figure out which leagues have which games, and try to get teams into leagues and try to get all that sorted and figured out. And I came across NECC for Rocket League actually last spring. I was like, hey, this league still has like things open for their teams. And then, I looked more into it after helping the Rocket League team get situated, and I was like, this seems like a really awesome league. I really liked their rules. I really liked how they did things. And, they're growing. They're becoming a massive, massive organization. One of their like directors, I don't know his title. He came over from I think like football, like from American football. Like he was doing
Wow.
production and stuff. He was running something, and he switched over to esports, and he's been, running that.
Yeah, I mean, the best way that I can equate the NECC for college is like to sports is like the NCAA for regular sports, and that actually kind of makes a lot of sense. Saying that the commissioner, if you will, the head honcho of NECC, would come from a place like that because they basically set it up in the same way. Like we have different tiers, so like we have the FCS and FBS. So of course UNI's in the FCS of the Missouri Valley Conference, and now you have the UNI Purple team, which is in the Challengers version of Heartlanders. So you can kind of make those connections, like, oh, the Heartland is essentially our Missouri Valley Conference, and we're actually playing a very regional based. Of course, there is some skill rankings that get built into it, but we are playing region based folks, which I actually find that very enjoyable. I don't know about you, Star.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting, and I think my favorite part, I've been looking at like all of the teams that we're going to be playing, and from white team, gold team, and purple team, and it's a lot of it's familiar schools. It's schools we've heard of, schools that are nearby. I did notice the purple team is playing three separate teams from three separate Wisconsin colleges, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Um, and I think most of like white team or most of gold teams matches are against other Iowa schools, but a lot of purple teams are all over the place, but
Oh
still
yeah. No, absolutely.
heartland in the Midwest.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you kind of mentioned this. This is a good segue to see what Heartland A is going to look like for you and I this regular season. So, from what I was able to determine is that they're essentially going to play every team at least once for the most part. So in Heartland A, of course, we have UNI, but also to that note, we have University of Wisconsin Stevensport, University of Wisconsin River Falls, University of Wisconsin, uh, what is that? Eau Claire?
I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah, and I
EAU
don't know
Claire?
because I figured those are different, like Wisconsin schools, but I don't know because they all have different logos and different. So
Mm-hmm. I don't know how that works.
I don't know anything about
As
Wisconsin universities.
either do I. It's very interesting that they're under the same University of Wisconsin umbrella, but they're their own schools.
Hmm.
So to that point, we are also going to play against Wayne State, the University of Missouri, so Mizzou. That's a very notable name. Of course, the team we're playing tonight, Grandview University, and just right down the road of on 380, we're playing Cornell, which is a private college here in Eastern Iowa. So that's actually really cool and interesting.
Yeah, Cornell has actually played. I believe their Rocket League team came to the Rocket League tournament that UNI hosted a
Hmm.
year ago. So, and now our Overwatch team will get to play up against them.
Wow, it's actually really cool. So kind of looking at this conference, if you will, Heartlander or Heartland A. Um, of course, the team we're going to play tonight is going to be the highest ranked out of them all. I do believe that they're made up of mostly GM top 500 players, and that's a tall order considering how UNI sort of kind of averages low masters. So, can you maybe talk, kind of shed some light on how that ranking system works,
Yeah,
or
so
do you? Yeah.
so UNI's purple team, they're like mid to high masters is their rank. And I know the Grandview team, I think you said has a lot of like Grandmaster players. But they did get put in the Challenger division, so there's five divisions for NECC for Overwatch. We have the Navigators, which is the one that white team is in. We have the Emergence, which is the one that gold team is in, and we have the Challengers, which is the one that purple team is in. And those are like, kind of in that order. And then the next team is the Champions. So the Champions is like the top in that group. And then there's the Legends division, which is 16 teams total. And those are like the best of the best teams. So those are the teams that, they're varsity programs, probably all on scholarships. Like those are like the really like super top tier teams. I know one of the teams is literally like a full contenders team.
Oh wow,
um,
that is
that
interesting.
got scholarships to go to college. but
Yeah.
um, yeah, so the purple team is in like the second highest division, and it's still very very competitive. So they will have some tough matches coming up.
Right. And of course, I noticed that they played this team during the activation matches, sort of kind of like the preseason. And to my understanding, it was a 3-0 in favor of Grandview. Of course, we've always played Grandview very hard. I know I specifically remember on the UNI Open back in, oh goodness, 2017, 2018. Now I'm dating myself. We were the only esports team at the UNI Open tournament to take a map off of Grandview. So Grandview has a history of being phenomenal esports players. So that's something that we got to look out for tonight.
Yeah, I do think as
I
we're
yes.
I was gonna say as we're getting close here, I think the teams are getting ready to go.
All right, fantastic. So it's a best of three tonight, correct? Or is it a best of what?
It is best of five, first to
Best of
three.
five. Got it.
And it looks like map bans are happening, so we're gonna switch over.
All right, fantastic. Well, So to kind of, as we are switching over and getting ready to start, uh, NECC is doing something very interesting today with map bans, which I thought was very interesting. So the away team will get to ban a control map from the pool, and then the home team will get to select the first map. And then that is predetermined by the map pool, of course. In each match thereafter, the winner of the previous map will ban the next uh, map of the next game mode, and then the loser will get to pick the next map, so on and so forth. And then the winner will determine, or I guess the winner of the previous match would get to select attack or defend if that is an option. So very exciting. So looking at this map, sort of kind of view in a sense for the best of five. It starts off on control, goes to hybrid, and then flashpoint. Anything else past that is going to be determined if we are able to take a point or not. um, but we have the selection in our control map: Antarctic, Peninsula, Busan, Ilios, Lijiang Tower, Nepal, or Oasis. So without tipping the hand as head coach, Star, which one would you think would be a good pick for UNI Purple playing against a very well competitive Grandview Vikings? Fair. Right. All right. Yeah. I'm so excited for week one of NECC Overwatch. I'm just so excited. But yeah, so Lijiang Tower, like you kind of mentioned, I know UNI kind of favors just historically, just like how, oh my gosh, if I could use this reference point, how the University of Iowa in football always uses the I formation, UNI kind of always does the rush, rush composition. So that's one thing that UNI has always done well. Rush and sort of kind of like that pseudo dive composition is what we've seen in the past to see UNI win GG League's Overwatch that way. So I'm really looking forward to, of course, Roadkill. Roadkill 223 is going to be our tank. Of course, Wildcat has since retired, I say in quotations, as um, from UNI Esports, and has since taken on a position as a caster. Of course, you can go ahead and watch UNI Gold Team play today on uh, Panther Esports 2. So, but in the meantime, uh, we have for UNI the starting roster: Roadkill on tank, Unlasting and Vandium on DPS. For support, we have Skip, and also as a support, I have Nick slash Bailey Joe. Does that sound about right? Mm. Oh no! How unfortunate. But yeah, so I'm really excited. Week one, the NECC Overwatch, get to see the rush, and of course the very heavy dive that, or I would assume that they play a very quick comp for for Grandview. So of course with this we're getting prepared. I am so excited. So starting off with some compositions, we got Skip on Baptiste. Of course, that's one of his star ability characters that he really loves to play. Roadkill playing the Rammy, so that's going to be interesting to see. Bailey Joe, of course, on the newest one, as we see Grandview starting out with a Symmetra to start off. So what's going to be important for UNI here is to get that first pick off of Grandview. This is going to be very difficult, as Grandview is a very top team. As you can see, both of these teams are currently battling it out, getting the poke game, as Roadkill is going to try and make some space, pushing Jerry back just a little bit, ever so slightly, but here the point will unlock in just a moment. And with this, UNI begins to tick it over as Vandium, with the good space distance on that Junkrat, able to create the space, and unfortunately Grandview is going to take the first couple kills. It's Unlasting and Vandium go down. Both of the DPS is down for UNI, but all UNI has to do right now is make that space as Agent MM7 takes out Skip, and this looks like a good initial team fight for Grandview, as Grandview will tick it over now with 24 seconds, or 24%. Oh my goodness. My apologies. So what UNI is going to do, need to do in this moment right here, right now, is get Unlasting out onto the edge and sort of kind of have Vandium and the front of UNI to basically split the attention and split the players, as Unlasting looks like he's going to try and dive in as windows popped already for Skip. And with this, Unlasting's going to get a dash, but Tire from Runestone's going to sort of kind of even the playing field, 2 and 2, as Bailey Joe gets down very, very low, and Roadkill down to 24 health. Can that shield save him? No, as Okla takes down Roadkill. So with this, the initial attempt from Skip by putting up that wall, excuse me, the window, the wall to the window, just unfortunate, did not get that to work out, as Vandium quickly gets picked in quick succession by Agent MM7. So Agent MM7, a huge pick player on this Grandview team, as 67% begins to tick over. Just a very tough fight right now for UNI, as the ultimate is going to be pulled on for UNI, as they're going to initially take this space, of course, making Agent MM7 pop their ultimate, taking down Unlasting. Here's Roadkill with Annihilation, able to get the point switch for UNI. UNI is pressing the attack, and here comes Roadkill. Vandium able to get the pick on Hog's Runestone. So UNI able to get this flipped, able to get the points ticking over. Excellent switch and play by UNI. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. As we already see, 62% ticked over for UNI. Tons of potential here, as we are winning in the ultimate matchup, as I just say that. But Unlasting able to get a huge kill on Hog's Runestone. This is going to stagger Grandview. So far, so good for UNI. And of course, we're going to get ticked over now with Bailey Joe's ultimate. So we are currently winning in this ultimate space. It's going to come down as Grandview is going to pop 2 ultimates right here. Unlasting is going to try and go around off to the side to get a couple kills. And with this unfortunate set of circumstances, as UNI gets swept in utilizing about, what, 3 ultimates in that scrimmage? What did you see, Star?
Score 1-0. Ready for battle.
That's the most. Yeah,
Locked and loaded.
they are here to play, and like we kind of mentioned in the pregame, they are grandmasters and top 500 players, and they swept 3-0 against UNI. So hopefully this can give a spark for our ladies and gentlemen on the team. So as we start off again, another sim strat coming from Grandview as they're going to take that space initially. The point is, of course, locked for about 25 seconds beforehand. So these teams are going to have to duke it out in open space. But as I say that, Grandview is going to go ahead and sneak on in to get initial point advantage, hopefully, as that ticks over. But UNI is going to, again, try and make that space in as well, as UNI is going to initially take this point as it begins to unlock. And roadkill already initially with the kill on Jerry. That's huge. The Junker Queen can't take that space, and Grandview's going to have to already take a step back. UNI able to get that going for them as, again, roadkill pushing them back into the choke, utilizing the ultimates of the Ram. And wow, what a good first set of interactions from UNI, creating that distance that they also need to create with this team right now, as Jerry is going to now swap onto the Zarya, so no fun now for kill. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is very competitive right now for UNI. Of course, they took another team fight off of Grandview. Like, this shouldn't happen. This is not what should happen on paper. Correct. Yeah, I mean, but I'd be hard-pressed that they would initiate with... and as soon as I say that, they're going to initiate with the Soldier ultimate. So Agent MM7 trying to pick up some value from it, and does not. So that's a wasted ultimate for Grandview. Now, here comes Bailey Joe, able to pick up the kill on Jerry. Another huge play for UNI. Of course, Hog Runestone is going to get the double kill, potentially the triple kill. No, as Lasting is able to get the melee kill on Hog's Runestone. So a good set of trades. Of course, UNI was down 2 initially, but they are able to push back, and now 90% is ticked over. Grandview has to make a decision now if they want to push the point. And with 3 ultimates for UNI, it's going to be in favor for UNI. As Tyre is going to get popped for Vandium, the overtime ticks over, and already 2 kills as Window is popped for UNI. This could be map number 2 for UNI. Oh my goodness.
Play of the game. Time for the reckoning!
Right, so, of course, the real winner is Grandview, according to that logic. I don't know about that, being a UNI cited folk, but honestly, let's sort of kind of unpack that initially, Star, because UNI does take map 1, because they 2-0'd it. It was a best of 3 on Control. So UNI already doing better than what we've seen in activation match. So that already speaks volumes to UNI and their communication, like you kind of mentioned earlier. So right now, UNI is going to get to pick a hybrid map. The losers, Grandview, get to ban, and out of that choice, they have Blizzard World, Eichenwald, Hollywood, Kings Row, Midtown, Nubani, and Paradiso. Okay, so Nubani ban. I would almost be hard pressed for Grandview to avoid Kings Row. Of course, Kings Row is everybody's favorite. But I mean, again, you and I will get to pick on whether they're attack or defend. But I just kind of want to, as they're picking teams right now, I kind of want to unpack that excellent ultimate usage that UNI was able to utilize in Lijiang Tower. So I think initially, what was it in Lijiang? UNI consistently had the ult advantage, and we cycled through them well. So I don't know what kind of key plays you saw, Star, out of the use of the ultimates there. Oh, sorry. No, that's honestly fair. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's another thing too, is like, of course, you win in the ultimate advantage, but you also have to think about you got to get value from that ultimate as well. Like, very pivotal on map two, or excuse me, I guess point two of Lijiang. It was basically Agent MM7's game to lose. Had the Sojourn ultimate, activated it on the initiation, got 0 kills. Conversely, Bailey Joe, to counteract that, initiated the Alari ultimate and got a kill on Jerry, which, of course, 5-man Overwatch, you only have one tank, and a tank takes the space. So that's huge. And it looks like now, as we go into map 2, it's going to be UNI's favorite, King's Row. It is. It is. It is. It is great for that rush composition. I agree. Yes, I completely agree. As we see Jerry actually picking the Orisa, so that kind of matchup is very unique in of its own because, of course, Ramatra has a different kind of spatial takes as Orisa does. So it's going to be interesting how Roadkill and Jerry play those mind games of like when to initiate the harden, essentially, and try and push through that choke. But of course, UNI is going to defend first, and we see, of course, the classic composition with Unlasting this time instead of on the Genji, on this tiny Swedish man. Of course, the Torbjorn pick is very good on defense, as we see Grandview trying to see if they can wrap around, and they are not going to wrap around the long way, as Engine M27, oh, but they're going to take the Sim teleport up to the high ground. An interesting strategy, but well played by Grandview. Of course, the pokey for UNI as they're going to kite around, kind of wrap around. The point for UNI now is to not get caught into a little attack funnel because the huge DPS on Agent MM7 playing the... Oh my goodness, this is why I can't think of the character name. As already, Skip able to get a pick on Jerry. The Orisa goes down. It's starting off with the initial pick on the tank. That's the most important play right now that UNI has done. Even though Bailey Joe was taken out by Solin, huge play right now for UNI as we see, again, Solon going with the ultimate, getting no value. That's the thing that Grandview hasn't been able to do all game long, as Solon is going to get the pick on Skip, so a little bit more even play here. Here's the window now for Grandview. Of course, UNI is going to run past this. Roadkill able to use a lot of the abilities from the Ram. So the Ramatra paying dividends right now as Jerry is able to get a kill on Vandium. This could tick over in favor for Grandview, but of course Bailey Joe keeping Roadkill alive. That's the most important thing here. As Skip again pops the window in quick succession. And Roadkill is going to take that space. So a good initial set of points right now for UNI. Couple key engagements. As Jerry is going to initiate with the Orisa ultimate, and Bailey Joe able to pick up again more value. Bailey Joe with the double kill, forcing Solon to use the barrier. As Grandview is going to start ticking points over, this might be a cap for Grandview as they are again committing so many more ultimates, more than what they need to get this point. As Jerry goes on an absolute killing spree, taking out Unlasting and Vandium. So far, very well fought defense for UNI. But again, Grandview is going to take that first point. So what did you see in those first initial fights so far, Star? Yeah, exactly. As we kind of see here, it's kind of the spatial awareness that UNI currently has is what's been really paying them very well. As Vandium's going to go back, and could he get picked here by Hog's Runestone? No, of course, but the polling for UNI is very good so far. So far, Bailey Joe and Skip able to stay alive. Of course, here comes the utilization. Now Roadkill is the first tank to be picked. This is going to be a huge play right now for Grandview as UNI is again pushing quickly through street space. As again, most of this poking as Roadkill is going to have a long walk back, but there is some advantages to the kit as Hogrun Stone is going to get the headshot on Vandium. Of course, Jerry getting the kill on Unlasting. Grandview is slowly pulling the momentum in their favor as they quickly go through street space here. Of course, UNI is going to now utilize some of their ultimates of their own. And here comes Bailey Joe. Unable to get any lot of value on that as Agent MM7 is going to take down the Roadkill. And this could be a quick streets phase. Of course, several good key plays from Grandview. Yeah. Right. Right. And just right there, that was a good combo of the ultimates from Grandview. Of course, we're not gonna like be super happy and like, oh my gosh, there was a double kill by Jerry. No, I'm not gonna say that because we're a UNI stream, darn it. But of course, it is telling about how much Grandview is bouncing back right now. As Skip is forced to pop window again, trying to make space that Grandview has quickly shortened up now with 2 minutes left to go in this third phase of King's Row. So, go ahead. Mhm. Yeah, I completely agree. It's making those key changes for UNI. You know, they got to get those picks, counter picks in to basically stop this onslaught that Grandview is currently doing. And as we see right here, tons of ultimates being picked. But Bailey, Joe, and Roadkill able to pick up the value, taking out Okla, Cherry, Agent M7, and Solemn. Hog's Runestone has to regroup and run away. Excellent ultimate usage by UNI. And hopefully able to make Grandview not take over the full 3 points. Again, here comes the corner, which is very important when you're playing on this King's Row phase. Again, the poking going back and forth from UNI as Vandium's going to use the ultimate. Can he get some value here? Trying to catch out Solemn, but just can't get it quite there, as just less than 10% health. Just unfortunate for UNI. That would have been a big pick, as Bailey Joe gets the pick on Jerry. UNI has to push here with 100% Zarya. Here comes Roadkill, able to look for the flank. Unlasting getting the kill on Agent MM7, making Grandview use that vital lamp in the last waning seconds, as they won't be able to touch Cart. Unlasting creating that space with the dragon. And with the... Oh! They touched! Grandview is touched! And now we're heading into overtime. This is the last push that Grandview has, as Solemn's gonna get the kill on Unlasting. Unfortunate set of circumstances now for UNI as the cart is being pushed. Hog's Runestone and Okla able to pick up a couple kills on UNI. This could tick over for 3 points. And in quick succession, the quick dive composition for Grandview works in their favor to get that last point for Grandview. So, holy cow. What did you see, Star?
Initiating match.
Yeah, it almost looked like at the very last moment that UNI was going to get that, but of course they switched to kind of a dive composition. Grandview, who is very good at, you know, playing dive or kind of switching up those counter picks, kind of what UNI did, switching, you know, Roadkill from the Ramatra to the Zarya, Vandium from the Junkrat to the Bastion, is you know, UNI, excuse me. Overwatch is a big game of chess where it's like picking and counter picking. And it's going to basically come down to UNI if they're going to be able to close the space that Grandview has. And then when they get into Streets phase and when they get into third point phase, if they can successfully pick the counter picks to Grandview, that's going to what is going to determine whether this is, you know, a win or loss. And Vandium, already trying to look for the early pick, can't quite get it as he switches to Soldier. So Roadkill again playing that Zarya, going to try and take that space counter Jerry. Of course, Zarya has a big kit that is designed around, you know, soaking up so much DPS. As UNI is going to wrap around the statue, try and create value. The first pick is going to be what's going to be very pivotal in this first capture phase, as Skip is able to get the kill on Jerry. Again, Jerry goes down in the first pick, and let's see if Grandview is going to allow them to take this in quick succession. 3 members of Grandview go down. Unlasting able to get that final pick on Hog's Runestone, which was going to be the mobility character to kind of poke at UNI, and this is going to be a cleaner first point for UNI. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. As we see now, Jerry going on to the mirror pick of Zarya is going to play. You know, that's going to be what's going to be determinable here for UNI, as Jerry is able to take out Elasty, and of course Solim taking out Roadkill. So it's going to come down to trying to whittle down, getting that first pick, and basically collapsing whatever kind of offense the other team is trying to do. So very smart pick from Jerry to go to the Zarya pick. So now it's going to come down to how the synergies work, as already the grab coming out for Grandview. They're going to stifle the attack as Bailey Joe goes down. And Skip going down as well, so Hog's Runestone applying that pressure for Grandview. Of course, UNI is going to come in with 4 ultimates to a Grandview's 3. So the ult advantage is definitely in favor of UNI. They don't want to overcommit like Grandview did last time to sort of kind of be able to then walk that Streets phase. But here comes Roadkill, able to get that grab. Here comes UNI. The lamp goes out, and Ancient MM7 taking down Bailey Joe. This could go as a draw. Unfortunately, it does not. Unlasting, able to get another kill utilizing the dragon. And just people going out left and right. Hobbs Runestone with a double kill on the DPS of UNI. And it's going to be a successful defense again for Grandview. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's that ultimate utilization that basically what's going to come down to these 2 top tier teams. And with 3:55 left on the clock for UNI, as they start pushing the Streets phase. Streets phase has always been an easy, I say in quotations, section of King's Row. But if they can get a clean sweep here, of course they're still building ultimates. Window being popped automatically. Here comes Vandium trying to get a lot of damage down. The synergy again working for UNI, as Jerry is ticked off very low and able to get the kill, but unfortunately Skip goes down, so it's kind of an interesting trade. Dragon is going to be pulled out for Grandview, trying to create that space, push that UNI team off the point. And UNI is going to have to come back and regroup after that. So a good set of matching interactions with UNI right now. Yeah, they're going to initiate with that, with the grab. And they're able to pick up 2 kills on Jerry and Okla. Grandview returns the favor as Hogs Runestone able to get a double kill again. It's going to be trying to stop Echo is what's going to be, I've noticed, for UNI. So again, and that was another heavy commit set of ultimates for UNI. They used like, what, 4? All 5 almost? I gotcha. Got you. As we initiate with Dragon, trying to create that space, as Solim's going to use the Alari ultimate. Again, trying to keep the players up, and with a double kill from Solim and Okla to clean up. UNI now has 2 minutes. This is a do or die time. Vandium picks up the kill on Solim. Here comes the ultimate from Skip. Doesn't work out as Hogs Runestone again, applying that pressure, getting the pick on Skip. That's the pivotal part right now for UNI, as Roadkill is able to get the sweet, clean kill on Agent MM7. UNI applying this pressure now. With 3.18 meters left to go, UNI needs to push and push now. as Solon is going to get a handful of kills. Jerry to clean up on Roadkill, and Skip's gonna have to reset. So again, an unfortunate set of circumstances for UNI as they find themselves so close to that carrot of tying King's Row. So UNI is going to have the Ilaria ultimate. Conversely, Jerry is probably and Okla are going to have their ultimates. So we're kind of losing in the ultimate match here. It's going to come down to the skill players of keeping Skip alive, and conversely, taking down Hogg's Runestone, who now switched to the Tracer. Bailey gets the pick on Agent MM7. Hogg's Runestone's going to try and poke it out. Hogg's Runestone goes down. Here comes the window now from Okla. Unlasting, ulting on point, and with this, we are going into extras in King's Row.
Score 3-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Yeah, exactly. As, of course, that's the favor of being able to defend first. If you're UNI, is that you know what you need to play to get that win in this overtime scenario. Of course, what also helps is 37 seconds of absolute pure gold. That's going to come down to essentially an additional team fight that you get to fight to try and see if they can get that basic, get the win in the first to 5, because if you can go up 2 maps on Grandview when you initially went 3-0 in the activation matchup, that's telling. And already off to start off the point, the little trickery by Vandium does not work, as Jerry is going to try and push through the choke point, and he does it in very quick succession. So they're going to go headstrong on this UNI defense. Of course, Roadkill again playing that Zarya, which is going to be poked down a lot. So UNI bend but don't break defense now with 30 seconds left for Grandview as they try and take it over. They had struggles in the initial first point push that Grandview had. UNI has the keys in their hand as Hog Runestone playing on the Hanzo gets the pick on Bailey Joe. Unfortunate set of circumstances for UNI, and here comes Jerry ticking it over now with 10 seconds. UNI has to try and make a stand and make it now. Skip goes down, Roadkill goes down, and this is going to be a first point for Grandview. Wow, just an unfortunate set of circumstances for UNI.
Escort the payload.
Right, it's going to be this choke right here that Roadkill is trying to control, but it's not going to work as Solem's going to pop the ultimate. Agent MM7 going to get the kill on Skip, again a very pivotal player on the side of UNI, and they're going to push through that choke with ease. It's good. Streets phase has always been, again, like I mentioned, a little bit easier, as you can say, as the ultimates are being just built up by both of these teams. So it's going to come down to this next team fight. As overtime takes over, all UNI has to do is push Grandview off the point. If they can do that before they get to third point, as UNI is going to initiate with the Ilaria ultimate. Holy cow, MM7 getting a quadruple kill, getting a 3-man on the Junkrat, or excuse me, the Bastion ultimate, as Vandium goes down as Junkrat. Wow, what, I don't know if that's luck or that's just a lot of skill. Yeah. Yeah, already quickly, Grandview is pushed to third point and going past the very vital checkpoint as Roadkill just is unable to make anything happen as Jerry goes down. Now Vandium's going to try and save here on the tire. Tire gets destroyed, and with a minute left on the clock, Grandview is going to full sweep again.
Score 3-6. Switching sides.
Mm-hmm.
Initiating match.
Yeah, it is tough. Mhm.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean that Agent MM7 three-man using the Bastion ultimate, I would be hard pressed to be like that was a skill thing. I mean, but it was lucky, and it's sort of kind of like what you mentioned, Start. It's kind of like getting the value out of the ultimates is what's important, and that's kind of what we saw in Map One versus Control from UNI is that their ultimate usage and value was a lot greater. As we see Roadkill now initiating pass through the choke point. Orisa again showing from Jerry, which is kind of interesting to see considering that was the first pick out. This first set of rounds going out as already going down past half, but a lot of resources being used to keep that Orisa alive. UNI trying to get past this choke point now with a minute 3 left on the clock. It's going to be the first pick that's going to be telling of if UNI can get the momentum or they will sit back. Vandium gets the pick on Solon. Now comes UNI. Roadkill goes down. The favor again now edging towards Grandview. It's just an unfortunate pick. Just a very good play by Hogs Runestone. But UNI is going to get the tick over potentially as we see quick ultimates again used for Grandview. Okla has his ultimate, but Bailey Joe is utilizing hers and getting the kill, unlasting, getting the pickup on Hogs Runestone. UNI applying that pressure and getting the point. Definitely the momentum now is in favor of UNI with a 24% charge Zarya. So here comes UNI. They got to take the space. They got to keep Grandview just staggered. But hopefully we can see that here. UNI is behind on the ultimate play right now with 4-1, probably having 4-3, depending on how deep this team fight goes. As it's going to come down to how UNI is going to be able to match ultimates and coordinate. So as the overtime kind of ticks over on Lasting, trying to see who he can maybe put the dragon down. The dragon's going to go on point for Grandview. They're going to utilize all their ultimates in the overtime. Jerry able to get a huge value, and again, a combination play. Just Grandview was the first one to tick it over, and with that, Grandview is going to take map 2. Wow.
Stay near the immortality field. Someone has to keep your eyes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Skip here, just very pivotal, very vital, huge on the healing and the resource distribution. So the real winners of map 2, you and I, but conversely, the real winners of map 1 was um was obviously Grandview. So, or excuse me. Oh my gosh, I can't even think about that. That was such a well coordinated play, and it's just that Grandview was able to tick it over first. So coming up, we now have the choice of Flashpoint. So yeah, I guess I don't know. So technically they can. I mean, there's nothing that says against it in the rule book that I have currently opened. So I guess it's ban the one that you don't want to play. That just seems. Quick, someone put in a ticket. It's NECC. What? What? How do? Because you literally, yeah. At that point, it's like pick. Okay, it's like which one do you want to? It's a strategic opportunity for one team. Yeah. So the rule book is basically has a nothing burger on it. um. So once a map is banned, it cannot be played for the duration of the series, and maps cannot be replayed during the series. So wow. So technically, you and I could ban the one that they wouldn't want to do, or oh, you and I would be picking Grandview would be banned, right? Because the winner, right? Um, the winner picks the ban, the loser picks the map. Did I just read that right? The away team, or here we go. The winner of the previous map will ban. Okay, so Grandview bans. The loser then picks. So essentially, it's Grandview's choice of what map they want to play. So yeah, that's a little. Someone get NECC on the line. Hello, hello. Um, what? Is there only 2 maps in Flashpoint?
Flashpoint has, yeah, there's only 2 maps, Servasa and New Junk City. Also, I just realized I had myself muted on stream. I was unmuted for the pregame, but I have been muted for both Lijiang and New Queen Street. But it is fine.
Well, now.
Thank
Wow.
you, Mom. Shout out to my mom for letting me know she did not hear me casting.
Wow.
So, you might look like you were talking to yourself for a little bit there,
Hey,
Hunter.
you know what? I was having fun this whole time. I was having a blast. I was making calls. I was doing the dang thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? So much for the highlight reel. Yeah, I won't get any broadcasting over the highlight reel. But you know what? It's
I mean,
it's
well,
it's doable.
your audio was still going. My audio was not. So, like, any
Oh.
times where you asked, you're like, what's your opinion on this? Or any
Oh,
times.
I was talking to myself.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it now. I get it now. Oh, thank goodness. So, okay.
But we're good now. So the rest of the remainder, at least 2 maps, will have both audio.
Hey, welcome to the second half, Star. Welcome to the second half. So, yeah, so if anybody wanted really good detailed like explanation of what was happening, as like I mentioned in the pregame, I have not played Overwatch in like 6 months. And I can obviously tell how some of these high tier plays are being made, and I'm like thinking to myself, oh, I'll just let Star explain that, and of
Yeah.
course Star would explain it, and I would just go, yep, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what I had been explaining, it was mostly ultimate usage. I think, as their coach, that's like the biggest thing that, one of the biggest things we've been working on and tracking. But hey, new map, new day. Here we are on New Junk City. I don't know if you guys saw the chat, but should it be? Oh no. Let's see how much health the tanks have. Um,
225.
Save.
Interesting.
We could use a scrim code.
Could potentially. So as a man who has not played Overwatch in 6 months, could you explain this Flashpoint to me?
1 sec.
Yeah.
Standard comp code is fine. Alright, so Flashpoint is the latest map in Overwatch. They released 2 Flashpoint maps on release of this new game mode. New Junk City is the one that we are going to. It is based in Junkertown, which is where Junker Queen, Junkrat, Roadhog hail from in Australia. Kind of a fun, scrappy map. And how Flashpoint works is there are 5 Flashpoints in total. The first one you always start on is in the center of the map. So think of Flashpoint, as I've been told by one of my players, is a think of a die, it's like a dice, and think of the one that has 5 points, right? So you have 2 in the top, you have 1 top right, 1 top left, bottom right, bottom left, and 1 in the center. So the center is the starting point. That's where the map will always start every single time. And then after that, it goes to a random one of the 4 corners point. So it kind of works like a control point. So they'll first capture the point you see in the image here. So that will be the first point. You'll capture it, and it ticks faster than a control map. So if you're on like Lijiang Tower, like we saw earlier, how teams, you have multiple fights before the point is fully captured, whereas these points you only have about that initial fight and then 1 more fight, and that's about it. You can maybe squeeze in 3 fights depending on how far you are and how they end up, but it ticks away very fast.
Yes.
As since there are 5 points to capture, they kind of, if it goes to all 5, it could take a while.
Right. So conversely, then, what kind of composition do you think is best to be played in a Flashpoint scenario?
So a lot of teams play more mobile comps, is what we've been seeing. More kind of scrappy comps, things like Rush and Brawl, Dive, and playing characters that can move faster. Well, you wouldn't play poke or like defensive comps. Like you might not see like a Torbjorn or a Bastion or the Junkrat or the Hanzo as much, or a Widow. You would see, more of the faster characters, things like Tracer, Sombra, Lucio. I've seen a lot of Life Weavers in my games just because he has that dash and he has some other like movement abilities. Yeah, and I mean, as far as tanks go, you can really play any tank. A lot of people do like coming out on the Junker Queen on this map just because, it's the Junker Queen map.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
no, I completely agree.
If anyone's wondering what's going on here, the NECC code is broken for this map, and they're trying to figure out how to make it not broken.
Oh no! Again, that's 2 tickets now, NECC. That's 2 tickets.
It is the first week, so
man. I guess while we have this short pause, we of course here at UNI Panther Esports, we want to, if you're new, welcome. If you aren't new, you should definitely follow us on all our social medias. We have Twitter X, whatever you want to call it. You can find everything down below. We also have merchandise. which you can go to the link below, or you could go to esportsgear.com/collections/the University of Northern Iowa. Right now, you can get a jersey for $35 for on the low end. They range from 35 to 55. Right now, I don't know if any of you out there listening do sports ball, but I do sports ball, and a Keenan Allen Chargers jersey is $125 before tax. Here, you could get a jersey after tax plus shipping and handling for like 50, 60 bucks. And you would be repping your UNI Panthers. So to me, that's a lot more value than going out buying a sports ball jersey. You should buy a jersey and rep it for UNI. So that's my little shtick that I have here. Is there anything else you want to add, Star?
No, that was pretty good. We are finally, we are in the map. We are in
We're
Junk
here.
City.
Welcome to Flashpoint, New Junk Street.
And I mean, right off the bat, now that you guys can hear my comms in game,
welcome, Star.
We do see the teams, as I said, picking some of those, more brawly, faster paced characters. We've got the Kiriko, the Sojourn, the Genji, Lucio, and the Junkrat coming from Grandview. UNI not quite as mobile, but still fairly mobile. Playing more of their comfort picks. And we do have the Junker Queen coming out, which is going to be very difficult to play into UNI Zarya.
Yeah, but Jerry did pick it for control on the initial contact, so I think that's what they're used to running. But seeing this roadkill on the Zarya is going to make him switch once Jerry goes down, I'll guarantee it. And already Agent MM7 getting close to dying, but of course Grandview utilizing those resources as the point now opens up and can be taken. In quick succession, roadkill and unlasting, able to get the kills that they need. Haley, Joe, and Skip to sweep and follow up. So a good initial team fight for UNI. Now go ahead, talk, Star.
Yeah.
Give us a recap.
All right. Well, I was going to go into... I am so excited. I don't know if you guys saw these Sombra hacks. Earlier today, I had mentioned to Vandium. I was watching the Owl matches actually earlier today, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of Sombra. Maybe you should play some Sombra tonight, as a lot of the teams were playing Sombra and Sojourn and Tracer, I think, were the most picked DPS that I saw while I was watching. So I'm so excited to see the Sombra come out. I do enjoy watching his Sombra, especially on this map. And
Vandium's getting
Flash
value
maps
as
in
we see
general.
initially, so... Sorry, yeah, no.
Good,
You
I'm
were
just
saying...
excited.
But already, UNI able to get the first team fight, 69% ticking over. Grab already coming out for UNI, making Grandview use Lamp. So a lot of, again, resource usage from Grandview that we already see. Good advantageous moves from UNI. Here comes the window now for UNI. Points slowly being ticked over into overtime now. These value plays are going to be huge for UNI, as here comes a window now for Grandview. Bailey Joe goes down, getting taken out by Hog's Runestone. UNI still keeping and applying that pressure. Here comes the hack that you mentioned earlier. It's going to play dividends, but unfortunately Vandium goes down now. So 2 down now for UNI. Roadkill close to following over. Of course, we see Jerry again go back to Zarya. Unlasting with a huge double kill. And Skip able to follow it up. UNI can slowly tick this over. No one's out there to help Jerry. Where'd Jerry go? Jerry! What happened, Jerry? No! With this, as I make a fool of myself, point 1 goes to UNI.
Yeah, one thing I noticed there, not to keep bringing up, well, they never heard it initially, so this is my first time ever bringing this up. UNI's usage of the Illari ult there, it did not get any kills, but it did completely nullify Grandview's usage of Blade, because the Genji dashed to go for the Illari, missed the Illari as she ulted, and did not get the dash reset, and he was just out of the fight for the most part. for the rest of his blade.
Right,
So,
and already initially UNI is going to cap the first point, so the defense is going to favor UNI.
and I should add one thing I did not mention about this point. A beautiful, I'll save it for later. beautiful
No,
EMP
keep rolling.
from Vandium. But as I was saying, once you win a point on Flashpoint, it weighs heavily in favor of the team that is winning. So this is a very easy mode to continue snowballing in. So you and I getting that first point and then being able to rush to the second point afterwards. Yeah, they just have that advantage the way that these maps are set up.
That was a good initiation by Vandium, of course, keeping the whole team of Grandview put in, using the Sombra ultimate, completely nullifying whatever Grandview was going to pull out of their back pocket. And it already 76% for UNI, and here comes Vandium again. Unfortunately going down from Hog's Runestone. But here comes the grab. Bailey Joe, roadkill and skip, able to pick up some kills. Or some utilization. Kill now with the double kill. Agent MM7 going down. And a lot of charge as the second point of New Junk City going to UNI.
Yeah, and there we did get to see the Grav Captive Sun is one of my favorite newer ult combinations. It's fairly straightforward. Zarya uses Grav, Alari, Captive Suns into the Grav, and even after the Grav ends, people are still slowed because of the Captive Sun, and I mean, they're just pretty much dead.
Yeah, absolutely, as we kind of see here. I wonder who's going to get the advantage in this point, because whoever takes it over as this flashpoint unlocks is going to basically essentially determine who is going to win. But here's the Alari ultimate from Solon trying to pick up some value. Interesting that they decided to do that on the initiation. Unlasting, trying to block out Agent MM7's or Hog Runestone's Deadeye. Doesn't work, but Grandview is going to get the tick over and the initial first kill on Bailey Joe. So UNI is going to have to back up from this one. So UNI is going to have to come back, talk it over, think it over. They did use some ultimates, of course, Unlasting and Skip. Having, of course, those ultimates in the back pocket. Okla having the ultimate, and Agent MM7 going to have their ultimate as well going into this next team fight. As here comes the initiation for Dragon, or for Blade, and Unlasting can't quite get the value on that. And here comes Agent MM7 with the visor. Roadkill goes down in the chaos with 100% charge. UNI is going to get this slowly ticked over onto the point. And with 79% for Grandview, UNI is going to tick this over and flip it. What did you see, Star?
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate that Unlasting died, in the use of his blade, but UNI was able to, get that pick and even out the fight, and then just take over with the BAP ultimate.
Yeah, great utilization, like you kind of mentioned, Star. Unfortunate that Unlasting used his ultimate to no avail, but UNI was able to apply that pressure, get the kill on Jerry, which is big in this sort of kind of type of composition. Roadkill having 100% charge really needs to push. The constant bombardment of DPS from Jerry, I just don't know about utilizing that that hack there, of course, when you're losing that team fight. And of course, the hack is going to go to no avail as.
And they followed up with the grab there too.
Yeah.
If I was UNI there, I would have used that grab way sooner. I would have used it when the other team was when Grandview was still in that choke. As typically we see here, Grandview ulted first, or they engaged. I guess they didn't ult, but they engaged first, and it's whoever engages in that fight first is usually going to win.
Yeah, UNI right now just sort of kind of sheepish. I feel like it's getting antsy again, like what we kind of saw in King's Row. They're kind of mistiming, miscommunicating. They're tensing up. They're not talking it out, which is kind of costing them these pivotal clutch moments. And now, with essentially 4-1 ultimate difference, they're behind on this as this fourth point is going to unlock. But if they can get the pick on Jerry, that's going to be huge. Roadkill gets the kill. Agent M's going to conversely take out Vandium. Bailey Joe picking up some value, trying to take out the resources of Grandview. And this point is going to initially tick over for UNI. So the Panthers with a strong showing now on point 4. Again, full ultimate stack for Grandview. I feel like on their next initiation, they're just going to ult dump. That's kind of what I'm sensing, but they've been doing a good job on the usage. They might use 1 or 2. As Deadeye is going to get pulled out. Window from UNI. UNI is going to have to bait this out. Skip gets the kill on Agent MM7. So a good separation right now of Grandview. That's what UNI needs to do. Hogs Runestone, of course, taking out the flanking Vandium. But that's going to be a nothing burger as the grab's going to come out for Grandview. Trying to match that up as Solim is getting no value. Here comes the blade from Unlasting. Can they pick up a kill? Unlasting, Skip does. And Unlasting goes down. Roadkill and as Jerry picks up a double kill. Jerry goes down. So just a good set of tug of war from UNI as Agent MM7 unfortunately is going to get the clutch play and the double kill, and that's going to tick over with 96% for UNI.
Yeah, you know, I think granted they used a lot of ultimates there, and you know, neither one of their DPS ultimates really got them anything. Only leaving them really with 1 ultimate coming into this next fight. UNI is coming up on 3. I'm really hoping UNI does an early engage here as soon as they get their ultimates, before Grandview has their ultimates online, and they, you know, if they can get a pick or 2, then I think this map is pretty much theirs. But
yeah,
as an unfortunate pick.
That is an unfortunate pick, and I know how Vandium can get a little tilted sometimes, so hopefully that doesn't get to his head as he begins to start playing more sloppy when he gets a little bit more frustrated. That's just who I know him as a personal player, so hopefully he can keep a level head, stay focused into this match as 71 points tick over. Now here comes the grab from UNI, tries to pick up the value here, gets the kill on Agent MM7. Big EMP from UNI! 3 go down! 4 go down for Grandview! And with this, a successful point from UNI. Can the hack work? And it does. UNI takes map 3 off, map 2 off of Grandview. So UNI doing a lot better job than what they did against their activation match earlier in this preseason. And again, you know, not only do we get the win star, but we also get the play of the game, so we just double won that time.
Yeah, a double win for UNI. This is boded well. I know they were very nervous about this matchup, so I'm very excited and very proud to see them doing so well. You know, as you mentioned a little bit how sometimes, you know, the team in general can get tilted, and going into this matchup today, they were really nervous, but I think they're proving to us that, hey, no, like, we're not here, like, we're not going to sit around and mope, like, the past is the past, like, we're here to just keep going, and we're seeing that. They do come out with the ban on New Queen Street, which I don't know if you remember from last year. This was UNI's favorite map last year to play. Yes. But Purple Team has actually taken a liking to Esperanza and Coliseo, as they can run the Zarya really well on those maps. They just really enjoy it. And I think UNI is also looking to avoid playing into this team's Widows. Or their Widowmaker and their Hanzo, as this team, as we saw in the activation matches, has very good snipers on their team.
Yeah, so this is definitely going to play into the favor of UNI. Of course, that's one thing that I want to highlight out of this whole entire series so far, Star, is just the ability that UNI can get the pick on Jerry on the tank, as everyone is still trying to feed resources on the side of Grandview to Jerry. They've gotten a lot of those initial team fights against Jerry, you know, as the tank. So that's really telling. Also, conversely, to Roadkill's ability to stay alive of course, with the back line of Bailey, Joe, and Skip, who I don't believe, unless in some like quick succession circumstances, did they get picked initially in that team fight. So far, I feel like the spread of first team kills are going in favor of UNI. So here in Esperanza, the first team fight is going to be pivotal, whether you have to, you have to win 2 team fights or just the initial one. And with game, set, point in UNI's favor, this is a doable task, and it's all going to come down to the initial team fight. So what do you think of the composition, Star?
I mean, already I'm looking at it and I'm saying, yes, this is what I want to see from UNI. I love the Sombra. Like, I hate playing into Sombras. I hate playing against Sombras. But in these team fights, in these high-level matchups, it is so good to have a Sombra on your team. And Unlasting's Genji is just, it's so good. It's so beautiful. And, I mean, everything else is just, this is what UNI is comfortable with. And I'm just, I think it's what they'll be able to do well on.
Absolutely, and it's all going to come down to this first thing, is Jerry's going to get hacked, and all the resources from Grandview is going to get picked. So while they're team fighting, I just want to shout out Sir Wilhelm Streams for being shouting out Roadkill. So thanks for that support. Thanks for lending us your former tank player. As already, this team fight is going to go slightly in favor of UNI, as Jerry is again ticked down to just mere points of health. As again, the tick back and forth from UNI, as big heals from Bailey Joe coming out on that Alari. So Bailey Joe able to also pick up the kill on the ability of Solim. So Window's going to get popped out now for UNI, so that's a favor in UNI, as Bailey Joe is going to get close to health. And Skip, there's the pick on Jerry. That's what we've talked about in this map 4, as UNI is going to need to press the attack here. Here comes Skip and the UNI Panthers, getting the pick on Jerry. Jerry has a long way to walk back, and already the initial push going in favor of UNI.
Yes, UNI did a very good job of gauging that fight, backing away off of the Captive Sun, and then picking off the tank from, picking off Jerry as he pushed into their team, and his team did not back him up.
Yeah, as we again see the initial points here with Unlasting going in, can't get the kill, but forces Hog Runestone to use the ultimate on the Sojourn, but picking up a double kill on that, and conversely, both teams able to get some key picks. But the important part is that UNI was able to get the forward spawn. So any kills that they get now is going to be at that forward spawn position, and putting the disadvantage now on Grandview.
Yeah, getting that was huge from UNI. Like, they, the team fight was even. I think it was 2v2. And UNI was able to just get Grandview off that point, and they were able to get that, which, I mean, that's massive, as you said. Very big for this fight.
Exactly, as Skip's going to pop Window and Lamp, trying to save his team members, as Unlasting was getting down into the dangerous level. UNI's going to have to, they have room to kind of pick and choose what kind of fights they want. As Bailey Joe is going to pop the ultimate on the Alari, trying to pick up value. Roadkill gets the kill on Jerry. Jerry goes down as a first pick, or not a first pick. It's almost a complete team wipe for Grandview. Grandview is not playing as coordinated as they did in the map 2 that they took.
I don't know what they were expecting picking Esperanza as I think I said it earlier. It is a very heavy. Oh my gosh, the hack on the Alari ult!
Wow, oh. That spicy Vandium, as Jerry's going to switch to the Reinhardt, trying to pick up value on Reinhardt, as now there is a 2-3 person advantage for Grandview. So, huge clutch play from Vandium, unfortunately couldn't get the value added, as UNI was quickly picked in quick succession, but that was a big ultimate play from Vandium. And already, so now we're back into the neutral spawn points as Grandview is going to push it onto their side, but they have a long way to go, and they have to win this team fight again in order to basically add any value. As May, Hogs Runestone playing the May now, is going to try and block off the very rush competitive dive of UNI. As here comes Jerry, he's going to try and get the kill on Roadkill, but of course Hogs Runestone's going to sweep that up. Again, it's going to be an interesting play here as UNI is starting to play a little bit spaced out.
Yeah, and I think so. Push is a very interesting game mode when you're thinking about strategies of how you want to come about this. UNI has already pushed the bot very far. Grandview is going to have to win at least 2 or 3 more team fights just to get the robot to where UNI has pushed it. They're going to have to win one here to get that respawn, and they're going to have to win another one just to push it further.
Right, already, and Jerry taking down Bailey Joe and Solon with Roadkill. Of course, they have the advantage of the ultimates going in. If you're UNI right now, save your ultimates, save it for that next team fight. Of course, you're going to get the spawn disadvantage, but if you initiate good, slightly better, you will be able to push it just a little bit farther. This is going to be a close one for UNI if they can get this switch, but it's ultimately going to come down to being able to utilize those ultimates and get value. That's what we've been talking about all series long. As Onlastian's, of course, going to try and pick out, try and bait out, as he's going to be with Skip, as Skip takes down the Solum heal beam. And here comes Window and the initial team fight for UNI. The May wall is going to pop up, and here comes UNI now with utilizing some huge ultimates, making Roadkill just sweep through Agent MM7, Unlasting to take out Jerry. What a good combination of plays, and a clean sweep team kill for UNI. Wow.
I mean, there is again the Captive Sun and the Grav combo. I hope it has a name. I don't know what the name is, but saying Captive Sun Grav
here, I call it Black Hole.
Black Hole?
Black Hole. I'd call it Black Hole because, have you seen the picture of the Black Hole where it's literally, it's a picture of a dark, gravitational field, and the only thing around it is just liquid, like energy, light.
Okay.
So I call it Black Hole. Bless you.
Oh my.
Bless you again. And already initially I shouldn't be excusing sneezes, as Solim's going to get a double kill, adding the value again on the Sun Alari ultimate. And that was a quick trade of succession kills for Grandview. So they were able to, again, swap the point. Still neutral spawn points, so they're still going to have that with 2:30 left to play in Map 4. Of course, game point for UNI. It's going to be telling to see if they can coordinate some of these ultimates, as Jerry has the ultimate, and soon Agent MM7 will as well. While UNI will just have Vandium's ultimate and Skip's ultimate for this next team fight, so they're kind of equal now. And here comes the hammer. Can't get the value, but the gun split up UNI. Agent MM7 is going to get the kill on Vandium, as Vandium was low on health. Again, a double kill picked up from a triple kill, as Roadkill and Skip are going to go down. Oh, Jerry getting the follow-up. But I could be in dire straits. But Bailey Joe, is she going to try and sneak around out the back? Maybe? Maybe? Roadkill goes down. That's an unfortunate pick. They need to find some ways out of this. Just the Hog Runestone May has been just plain, just unfortunate. It allows Grandview to do whatever they want to do. And with that, it's pushed Grandview now to the last home stretch in Esperanza. So UNI needs to utilize some of these ultimates here, as ultimates are going to be popped from both sides. Skip trying to get the value off the window, and Solin popping the ultimate on the Alari, but can't find any value there as well. Bailey Joe gets the pick on it, but conversely, all of these picks are being pulled out as Bailey Joe gets the kill, getting the value, and UNI is going to try and push this with this team kill. So of course the advantage goes to Grandview with the spawn advantage, but Roadkill having Annihilation, Okla only having Window, there is some value now added here. Thoughts, Star?
Yeah, I mean, it's Book of Push map. It's going to come down to these final fights. UNI is going to have to win 2 fights. They're going to have to win one here, and they're going to have to win one at the end. So it could be tough. It could be tough for them.
Yeah, quick succession push from Grandview is going to put UNI on that back foot and push us potentially to a map 5. That's going to be interesting. As here comes the ultimate now from Agent MM7 and the window. The kill from Agent MM7 on Bailey Joe. That's going to add value. Unlasting getting the pick on Jerry. The value favoring now UNI. Here comes UNI as they push as Roadkill's going to use Annihilation. Trying to get the advantage, but Maywall is going to separate the team. Overtime now ticking over. Skip gets the kill on Agent MM7. Keep on adding the value from UNI. Press the attack as Hog Runestone picks Vandium. Skip trying to keep everyone alive and keep everybody on point. As Skip gets the kill on Solim. Holy cow! Skip with a double kill and the death. But Jerry's back. Trying to create that space. Roadkill's now going to have to take the favor of the front line. And Grandview is going to rethink about what they want to do. This overtime point now comes to UNI. They have to push it 20 meters. And they will take the 3-1 win against Grandview on week 1. Overtime ticks over. Here's the turn. On the point. First pick is going to be important as Hogs Runestone gets the pick on Bailey Joe. Here comes Grandview now getting Hogs Runestone getting the kill. And Roadkill goes down. And this is going to go down. Can UNI keep this alive? I've seen crazier. Agent MM7 taking down Vandium. And unfortunately, Grandview's going to take this. And we are going to go to a map 5.
Wow, that's... That last... So,
Wow.
I'm just gonna go back a little bit. That fight around the, like the center of the map, right back to that center point when they were ticking down in overtime, it was... there was so much going on, you know, with UNI, just watching Skip and Roadkill just trying to keep the team alive, trying to just keep the fight going, and initially winning that. And I think UNI honestly really had a chance if Grandview didn't come out with the Pharah and just pop the Alari out of the air. Like, watching that, I was just like, oh no, like that was UNI's win con, and Grandview just came out on that Pharah and just took that away from them. So, I mean, that was a crazy, very, very close map to watch. And I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
I was too. I was feeling for UNI, of course. You know, activation match, they got completely swept by this Grandview team. Same players, same folks. But a lot is telling now that this is being pushed to a map 5. So, of course, the map differential is going to also pay dividends if they ever come into a situation in the postseason where they're tied for, moving on to the playoffs. So initially a strong showing by UNI, and this was technically supposed to be the toughest team in the whole entire conference. So being able to push it to a map 5 is a strong showing from UNI, and if they can get this map 5 control map, that is going to be a statement setter for UNI for the rest of the season. So I believe the first map that they banned what was the first map that they banned?
Ilios was banned from Grandview, banned Ilios.
And then they are also going to ban Dorado. So UNI is going to pick Route 66. This is going to favor the rush comp that UNI is more than likely going to play.
I don't know. I'm never entirely sure when it comes to Route 66. You know, looking at escort maps, certain maps have very standard. Like if you're gonna play Circuit Royale, okay, it's gonna be Sigma, it's gonna be double snipers, it's gonna be that more poke,
Excuse me.
and kind of more defensive comps. If we're going to Dorado, it's very dive heavy, and very sniper heavy. Rialto is definitely going to be more rush, but also with snipers. Route 66 is the last point is definitely very rush heavy. The first 2 points, you know, you could see more dive, but you could also play rush. You might play poke on defense. You can kind of play what you want in a sense on Route 66. So I'm curious to see. And UNI starting on attack. Oh, I need to swap.
Yeah, you
the
swap and I'll
sides.
go ahead and I'll roll. So I first want to apologize. I thought it was going to control. I misread that. So we're going to an escort map. So like you kind of mentioned, Star, it's going to come down to comfort picks. And already initially we see Roadkill, Skip, of course going with their comfort picks. Really like to see Unlasting on the Genji. That has added value. Conversely, Hogs Runestone playing the Echo has paid dividends in map 2 and in my opinion won them the point of King's Row. So of course we're playing Escort on 66. UNI is going to attack first. It is going to boil down to who in the comfort picks gets the best coordination and the best ultimate usage. That's another thing that's been huge for what's gotten UNI up to this point is their communication and the ability to coordinate and get value on their ultimates. Sorry, first pokes coming out from UNI. Vandium's going to go on the Ash. Of course, double sniper here is advantageous as Agent M's going to get the quick pick on Vandium with the mirror on the Ash. So UNI already starting off on the back heel. Unlasting's not going to care about that. He's going to go right in, create that space as Roadkill's going to match him there, right there on the roof of the diner. And Jerry is going to oh my goodness, just so much happening all at once as Okla's going to get the pick on Bailey Joe and Skip's going to go down by Hogsroom Stone. So strong defense showing right now from Grandview. Unfortunate set of circumstances right now for UNI.
Yeah, I do think, I think the two hardest points on this map are breaking first point and breaking third point. Just getting past this initial part is usually where if teams are going to struggle, it is going to be here.
Yes, I agree. As that turn is just, it's really good, and the high point on the rooftop, it's so difficult to push out of that point, like you kind of mentioned, and already initially Agent MM7 getting the pick on Skip. It's been a long match, as already again 2 going down for UNI, as Solim's gonna pop the ultimate there for Alaria. And again, another team fight going in favor of Grandview, so strong defensive showing. It's going to come down to getting Hogs Runestone, negating the aerial advantage that Echo allows Grandview to have. As they get different angles, and it's going to be a lot more difficult because, you know, skill shot players are going to have to take the advantage. As here comes the ultimates from UNI and from Grandview. Who gets the better value? Jerry takes down Roadkill. Unlasting takes down Solman. There's a trade for Bailey Joe and Agent MM7. So UNI still trying to apply that pressure as Bailey Joe trying to get the initial value, and they need to get to ticked over. Someone please get on cart. These meters are gonna
I was like,
matter.
Oh my gosh.
Who cares about the sunbeam heal thing? I don't. I care about the point. So, UNI is going to be able to take this first point over. A very rocky first point, but doable. And hopefully they can take this momentum going into... I call this Streets phase. I don't know what it's technically called. But I call it Streets phase.
Yeah, I mean it is a street, it is a road. I feel like it's more of a, I feel like street doesn't suit it, you know, like it's more, I don't know.
Yeah.
Gas.
It's like
well,
it
gas
fits, but it
stations
doesn't.
In the beginning. I don't know.
But either way, UNI is going to try and find that poke. Roadkill is going to try and utilize that flank, try to make sure that all sides are protected. But UNI needs to start pushing that cart and get as much forward progress as they can, as momentum just of the series right now is in favor of Grandview, as they were able to take a very showing Esperanza map. Now here comes Vandium, getting the pickup on Agent MM7, creating that space and that distance that UNI needs. Good utilization of window and visor from UNI, as Vandium's going to go down, but Roadkill gets the pickup on Annihilation. Okla gets the kill on Bailey Joe. So trades are going to come back left and right as Okla again gets another pickup on several UNI players, and Hug Runestone going to get the cleanup on Roadkill. So UNI at least will be able to reset and try it again. So long distance pokes from Vandium. It's gonna again come down to the ult usage utilization. Of course, Hogg's Runestone is gonna have that duplicate from the Echo that could switch any point with that high ult charge. As UNI is going to try and initiate the ultimate, but gets picked in that case. But Roadkill is going to get a double kill on Jerry and Agent MM7. So value added for UNI as they're going to try and get this pushed. The ultimate now coming from Hogg's Runestone, trying to copy the Soldier 76. Gets the value added on that and stops the push from UNI. Window is going to be popped out from Okla, as Roadkill trying to not get kited and get picked. That's going to be a big thing now with 56 seconds ticking over. UNI needs to make a push for this final point and do it as quick as they can. Roadkill, is he going to get a funny? No, he won't get a funny.
Yeah.
But Agent MM7 is going to get the pick. Go ahead, Star.
I was gonna say, I think one thing here that UNI, as we're seeing, is really struggling with is they don't have the capabilities really to play dive. Their tank mostly plays Ramatra and Zarya, and that's about all that we've seen. So getting onto these like high grounds, which Grandview is very much taking advantage of, is just really, really difficult for UNI. And being on that Hanzo instead of the Genji, they just don't really have a way to get up there and to fight them.
Right. So it's going to come down to try and get the first pick initially to kind of get it into favor. But like you kind of mentioned, it's going to be hard for UNI to get the momentum in their favor, as Bob is going to take out Skip, but Roadkill is going to get the advantage. And again, 2 players down for both sides. Still anybody's match. Vandium goes down. Okla goes down now for Grandview. Overtime ticks over, and 3.88 meters just right there for the taking for UNI, as both annihilations are going to be pulled out. One from the Echo and one from Roadkill. Roadkill on a 5-kill player streak, but that's not going to go. As I stumble over my words, as overtime slowly ticks over on Lasting having to go to the Tracer pick, trying to get this ticked over 3.66 meters now. In overtime, UNI has to get the move going, and they can't. And that's going to be round 1 for Escort.
Score 0-1. Switching sides.
Ooh, a lot of, so far, good trading going on back and forth, but it ultimately comes down when you're going into a scrum like that, who has like the better skill and who is able to, who had their abilities saved in the ult thing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it comes down to here.
Ready for battle.
I mean, looking ahead here, UNI knows that the Echo is a problem. They're aware, and they're coming out with the Soldier to help combat it. And I do like seeing the Junkrat here as well. We know UNI really likes playing the Junkrat, or I should say
Yeah.
Vandium really enjoys playing the Junkrat. Um, so hopefully, UNI's comp is
Yeah.
definitely more defensive, so this should give them an advantage.
Yeah.
But we'll just see how well they can hold this first point.
Yeah. It's going to be UNI's favor, as they know what they have to defend to. And that's going to be helpful to UNI. Of course, in my opinion, is a better defensive team. As we kind of seen it early in the early stages on Kings Road, they were able to stifle the first point drive from Grandview. So hopefully they can do that here. But 3 minutes, 30 seconds is going to be a long time for UNI. As already the first initial pokes coming out, it's going to come down to that first pick again. Jerry on the Sigma, which added value a lot defensively. Agent MM7 going to take out Vandium. So the ball is going to start rolling in favor of Grandview. As already initially the Sigma ultimate coming out from Jerry.
Fast Sigma ultimate coming from Jerry.
Wow. That was in like the first, 3 minutes? Or not even the first 3 minutes. First, 45 seconds?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a good value right there added for Jerry, which I would contemplate, be like, do you even really want to use that? Because Vandium was unfortunately picked by Agent MM7. So, just interesting set of circumstances UNI finds themselves now with a little under 5 minutes left to play, and they have to defend the street space. Solim's going to go down, but Roadkill's going to get the kill on Jerry. Conversely, a lot of resources being utilized from Grandview, so hopefully this can stop them here, but they do have time to play around, as Vandium's going to get taken out by Agent MM7. Again, just Hog's Runestone and Agent MM7 so far has done a great job at just, the offensive pressure that this DPS duo has slowly been overpowering UNI. And so far so good with 4:15 on the clock, is Grandview is going to quickly turn the corner of the point and slowly hitting the home stretch. So UNI is going to need to find a strong defensive point here and now. Find something. Get the first pick. As the Ilaria ultimate's going to go out, and two go out in quick succession for UNI. Here comes Bailey Joe now. Can't get any value on the Solim ultimate, as a lot more of UNI is going to go down. And in the best of 5, 3-2 goes to Grand. Or wait, that can't
The
be
names
right.
weren't switched from the team side swap.
Gotcha.
But I mean, just looking back at at these maps that were played, I think coming down to this last point, UNI just did not seem as well versed on this map as Grandview was. Grandview came out with a plan of attack. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they wanted, and in the end, it just ended up working out for for Grandview.
Yeah, I think in just the heavyweight slugfest that was this match, Grandview, they did a lot better on coordination. I feel like they did a lot better on clutch moments. Essentially, that's what, high tier Overwatch boils down to, is who has the best clutch moments, who has the best teamwork, and who has the best ult usage. And I would challenge that the third point of ult usage was in favor of UNI, but all three were played very consistently and very well for UNI, or for Grandview, excuse me. So going into this, you also have to think about it. Grandview 3-0'd them in the activation match, and that was last week. and in 1 week's time, UNI able to push them to a fifth match. Huge, absolutely huge. Are we going to do an interview, Star, with anybody?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm just waiting for confirmation. I asked if any of them would like to do an interview.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't blame them if they said no, considering how that was just it was an unfortunate loss. But like I mentioned, they got to feel good. They got to feel good that they took two maps from Grandview.
It looks like Steven, so I will pull him up
All right.
here in a sec. Let me.
Yeah. So before you all either leave or stick around for the player interview, next week, October 12th, or is that right? Oh yeah, because next week's a bye week,
Next
isn't it?
week is a bye week. All right, I'm bringing Steven in here now.
Okay. Bring Steven in.
Hello, Steven.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Vandium.
How are you guys?
We're doing what a roller coaster that was this series. Of course, you were playing a lot of the Junkrat and the I can't think of her name now. Now that I'm trying to the
Echo?
no.
Sombra.
Sombra!
Oh,
Yes, thank you. I don't know why I had the brain fart of Sombra, but you were playing the Junkrat. You had some clutch plays on Sombra. Could you maybe kind of talk about that series and sort of kind of the highs and lows you were feeling, pushing a Grandview to a fifth set?
Yeah, that was, crazy series, first of all. I mean, it's a team that in activations we really, really struggled against them. So to come out and play like we did and take them to map 5 felt really great. It was definitely tough out there. But you hate to lose, but lots of positive things to take away from a game like that.
Right, absolutely. So, like you kind of mentioned, Grandview did sweep you initially in the activation. In that 1 week's time, what do you think has gotten better, either team-wise or for you personally? Because I know you said going into this, you were like, I'm going to try and get more than 5 kills. Did you succeed on that? And what do you
I,
think the
d-
team improved on?
I definitely succeeded on that. I had that first point, so I was already celebrating that. I think the whole what's different from last week? Communications way up. The comms were there, calling out targets, calling out ultimates, comboing our ultimates properly instead of just throwing them willy nilly. So we definitely got better at that within the week, and then also just like understanding what we're good at playing and being able to find the right counter picks, like whether it's the Sombra or the Zarya or whatever it is. So yeah, definitely just communications definitely way up.
Right, exactly. And that was another thing that I was going to touch on. Like you, from what I remember on Flashpoint, I think it was second or third point of New Junk City, you got a fat 5-man hack
hmm
ultimate and just clean sweeped. So was that a kind of communication thing? Was that just trying, kind of talk us through that key play that kind of won you New King Junk Street?
Yeah. It's pretty much just we go, we win a fight, go next fight, clear comms, and then it's just communicating, hey, I'm looking for EMP early here. We look for it early. I hit EMP, and then I'm just screaming into my microphone, telling people to run at them. That's
Mhm.
that's what it is. Calling targets. It's all about just going. You just say go, press W, the best key in the entire game.
Right, exactly. And applying that pressure that you did with Grandview. Star, do you have any questions that you'd like to,
I
as a
guess
caster?
as a caster, not a coach, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Going into what was the going into the Flashpoint map. Right, so you guys actually I'll ask, how did you guys feel after winning the first control map very cleanly? I mean, they didn't even get a tick on the second point. It did go to a third point. How did you guys feel after that initial win?
We felt amazing. It was all positive, especially like first map when we think it's all over, we're about to lose it, and then someone goes in, makes a big play, kills 4 people. It always feels great. But yeah, just lots of positive energy, lots of yelling too. I was yelling a lot.
Right. Uh, So in the next gen stats era, if you will, of my brain, you guys have been able to take 2 maps off of Grandview, which is more than any other UNI team who has played Grandview to
We broke
date.
the record.
You
We broke
broke
the
the
record.
record. You broke the record. That
Record-setting
once
numbers.
absolutely as you should, especially in the best of 5. So I assume that the question or the momentum will go into the bye week and into the next week after that.
Yeah.
So
Especially playing like that against a team that's primarily top 500 and GM players. It's any win you can take at this point. It was amazing. It was great. Even though we lost, feel amazing about it. We definitely feel like we could have beaten that team, and should we play them again, I think we really will pull it through and beat them.
absolutely. So Star, do you got any other questions?
Well, we need to think of a new fun question because we've already asked a lot of these players our fun questions.
Right.
So,
I was trying to think about one too. Did you find one? Here.
I don't have a favorite. I think it has to be kind of like mildly controversial, but like in a fun
Mildly
way. So,
controversial.
I don't know if
but-
the chat. Well, the
but,
chat is behind us. I'll ask the chat if they have any questions.
All right. So in the meantime, so Vandium to kind of fill space. Who I guess what I kind of want to know as a just kind of previous player of Overwatch, who was the shot caller for this match tonight, and like you kind of mentioned, who was calling out the most calls?
It's always Skip. It's Skip. It's Roadkill as well. You know, having our tank calling out when where he's moving, when he's going, just so we can stick with him. But it's mostly Skip. He makes most of the calls. You know, when you have a top 500 player in your team, you just kind of have to listen to him and hope everything works out. So that's kind of the best. That's the best we can possibly do, is having him make those calls, and he made a lot of really really good calls tonight. So
I have a seasonal based question.
okay.
What is your favorite Halloween costume that you've done, or what are you looking forward to dress up for Halloween as this year?
Listen, this might not come as a surprise, but I did in fact dress up as Junkrat one year.
No way.
Really?
I don't
It's
It's gotta
believe
be, it's gotta be good. There's a picture somewhere. I don't know where. It was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was at home
college?
for first freshman year. I was at home. Did not, no pictures. It was really really bad.
Oh, come on.
I'm sure my mom's got a picture somewhere. I was home for Halloween, but this year, you know, maybe we drag it out of the closet. Maybe it still fits. I don't know.
I guess
I guess it would have been 3 years ago. It was my senior year of high school. That's what it was. So
okay, that makes sense. I don't. I'm trying to think of a fun question, but I always feel like we run through all the good ones, and now I can't quite think of one. But um, what to you, Vandium, Mr. Vandium? What is the worst genre of music and why?
it seems really, you're gonna put guns to my head with this one. I don't know.
Did you say what is the worst?
I think me,
Yep. What's the worst
in
genre?
my
I feel like we should
opinion,
keep it
this is
positive. Like,
this is
what's-
really this is a really hot take. You're gonna make a
Good
lot of people
answer.
angry with this. I don't know if I should answer. I don't know. I wouldn't say
What
it's
do
I
you
mean,
say,
you don't have
rock?
to.
I wouldn't say it's the worst. I would say it's my least favorite to listen to. Like, it's not
Mhm.
bad. I'm not a big rap fan. But like, I'm not a big rap fan, but I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's my least favorite.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, that would be my choice too.
Jaeger's trying to get me canceled out here.
I am.
Alright.
I am. I'm going for
I won't fall for the trap.
Is there anything you want to say, I guess, on stream? I don't know. Anything you want to say to the chat? They
we
do not
gotta-
have any questions, so.
We gotta shout out Coldplay fan and Log for being
Yes.
the biggest fans around. And then yeah, that's really all I gotta
Wow.
say. I don't know if my mom's watching, but hi mom, if you are watching. You should be watching. I sent you the link. I would hope you're watching. But yeah, so no, we feel great after that match. Even losing it sucks, but we feel really good after that. So definitely carry that momentum going forward.
Absolutely, as you
Sure.
should. Well, I guess closing remarks. Star, do you have anything?
I guess we do have a bye week next week, so Overwatch will not have any games streamed next Thursday. So we will see you guys back. I gotta move my calendar.
October 12th.
October 12th. He's got it.
Yeah, I got it pulled up.
So we'll see you guys back October 12th. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know who those matchups are against. I have them, but it's on Discord, so I can't check.
All right, you know what?
But,
I'll just close it out. So, UNI unfortunately goes down 3-2 against the Grandview Vikings. So very close, well fought match. Next week is a bye week. So stick around. October 12th at 8 p.m. They are going to play the University of Wisconsin River Falls. So hopefully that's going to be a very exciting and thrilling matchup that we saw here today. Make sure you go and check out our social medias. UNI Esports. We're here on Twitch. We're on YouTube. We have Twitter. We have the whole thing. Also, make sure to check out our merchandise. If you want to support the team and rep the team, you can go to esportsgear.com/collections/the University of Northern Iowa. I'm Jaeger. In the booth and doing production, pulling double duty is Star Clana. Thank you for watching UNI Esports Overwatch.
Go
See you next time.
Cats.
GG's.
GG's.
Holy. The amount of yelling. My voice hurts.
How's
Vegas